Welcome to a training video of the accounting summary screen in PayPak Professional 4.0. This screen is used to display accounting entries for a selected batch or period and contains the debits and credits from posted payroll entries. These entries can be printed and manually entered into your general ledger as journal entries. To create data files which can be imported into your general ledger, please see the training video on the related Export Accounting Entries screen. So let's sign in and show you how it works. The Accounting Summary screen is found under the Report section of the menu in Standard Reports. And here it is. Double click, it's a form screen. And let's start with a look at the layout of the screen, and then I'll explain how it works. We have a selection option at the top where you can select by batch date or batch ID. To the right of that will be the selected batch date or selected batch ID. Under this, you have a debits credits option where you can combine the entries so there's one line per account, or you can separate them so that there are two lines per account, and this pertains to cases where there may be some accounts where they normally have debits or they only have debits, some accounts will only have credits, some accounts may have both. And when they have both, you can combine them into one line or separate them into two lines so that you get a sum of all the debits and a sum of all the credits. Next option is the sort ID or sort by, and you can sort by the account ID, description, debit amount, the credit amount, or the export links, the four export links that are there. Next option is to calculate using, and you have two options here. One is the accounting entries, the other is the account allocations. Accounting entries are generated when the batch is posted. Each time a batch is posted, the software generates the accounting entries for that batch. And these would be the clearing account from the payroll set, the job type for the job type account for the various gross pay lines. The taxes would have the employee account and the employer expense account where applicable, and you would also have deduction lines where deductions are assigned to a particular account. So those entries are generated when the batch is posted. There may be times, however, where the account's allocations may change after a batch has been posted. You may have been posting a type of gross pay to a particular account in your GL using the job type allocation. That may have changed. So if you use the accounting entries, the software will use the entries as they were at the time the batch was posted. But if you use account allocations, it will recalculate those entries using the current account allocations. And sometimes there may be changes or differences between the two. In this case, we're going to use the accounting entries. To the top right, you have a total of the debits and a total of the credits. Underneath, there is a grid which will show the entries. That's where the entries will be displayed. And at the bottom of the screen, you have a few buttons which control various functions for this screen. So let's get started and show you how it works. Batch date is useful if you have just one payroll per period, say you just have only weekly payroll, you do one payroll every week or one payroll every month, batch date is fine. If you have a monthly batch and a weekly batch and they happen to fall on the same date, for example, you do your payroll on the 25th of the month, your monthly payroll on the 25th, but the weekly payroll for that particular month happens to also fall on the 25th. If you choose batch date, those two batches, the accounting entries will be combined together in the screen. You may prefer to have them separate, one set of entries for the weekly and another set of entries for the monthly. In that case, you can use the batch ID and select the individual batch. Batch date would combine the two batches that fell on that same 25th. Now, you may also have a case where you have maybe 3 payroll batches. You have 3 weekly batches. You may have 3 stores, and you do 3 separate batches for each location. Let's say that you did have 3 batches and they were all dated the 11th of June. If you choose the batch date, it will combine those 3 batches together. You get one combined set of accounting entries for those batches. If it was by batch ID, the batches will be separated. You can choose separate batches. That's your choice. Now, when it's on batch date, you can also choose more than one date by clicking on the 3 dots here. So the last posted batch for 2021, it shows me the years that batches were done. We have batches for 2019, 2020, and 2021, and the last posted batch for 2021 is the 11th of June. I could have combined that or changed it. I can combine and print both together, select both. So I have the 11th of June and the 14th of May. If I apply, they're both listed here, as you can see. I could also maybe only choose the 14th of May and turn off the 11th of June. Maybe I'm only interested in May, so this would allow me to choose May. Likewise, for the batch ID, it defaults to the last posted batch, which is number 199. If I click on the 3 dots, batch number 199 happens to be a batch from 2019. It's a year-to-date batch, so it was posted long after the others, and it has the latest sequence number. But if I wanted to post or to select the account entries for, say, these 2 entries here, I could choose 199 and 196 together. And when I apply them, you see the 2 numbers here. Likewise, I could say I only want 196, and I turn off 199, click on apply, and only 196 is chosen. So I'm going to click on new to reset that, and we move to the next option on the screen. Debits, credits, and the option here is combine 1 line per account or separate 2 lines per account. We'll go with combine 1 line per account. If I had wanted to show the debits and the credits separately for the same account, I would have chosen the separate. Sort by, I will leave it at the account ID. Calculate using, and I will use the accounting entries. And once I have determined the selection options which I wanted, the display options, normally I would click on the settings button the very first time you do this. The very first time you do it, click on the settings button and these settings will be saved. Not the particular date, but the option of whether you're using the batch date or the batch ID, the option for combining or separating the debits and credits, how you want to sort, and what option you wish to use for calculation. Okay, so everything is now ready. I click on the display button and these are my entries, and I have a total debits 2574.20 and credits 2574.20. I would now be able to print this report using the print button. and then it can be keyed into your general ledger packages journal entries. Now if I had changed the option here to separate 2 lines per account and I display, you'll notice now that the totals, there are more, the debits and credits, they're still balanced, but we now have 2 separate entries, a total of all the credits for the bank account and a total for all of the debits for the bank account. There does not appear to be any others. There are no other accounts which have more than one set of entries, debits and credits. Right, so that's how it works. If you click on the print button, you can preview the report and it looks like this. Okay, as I said, you could just print this out, send this to, you can key this into your accounting package. We do have an option, a similar screen to the accounting summary, which can generate the data files to export these entries directly into a file which can be imported by particular general ledger packages, QuickBooks, Peachtree, Sage, Adagio, and that's the export accounting entries screen. So this screen will do it for you as a printout which you manually key in, but if you prefer to do it electronically and import it, please see the related video on export accounting entries. And that is basically it for this video. The new button will clear the screen. Settings, as I said before, will save the settings. The reset will clear any settings that you'd made before. The video button will launch your browser and display this video for you, YouTube video, and exit takes you out. You can also click on the column headers to sort by any column that you wish, if you prefer. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for spending some time with us again on another PayPak Professional 4.0 training video, and we do look forward to seeing you for the next video. Thank you and take care.